like Benson, I'm a who that.
I'm a who that.
Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to fam. Much love to the fam. Round of applause to the fam. We up in this thing. Shout out to the Sports Coma family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the live. Much love to everybody for being in the building. Much love, much love, much love for the preview stream. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend, man. We up in this thing. We here to talk a little black and gold, man. We know tomorrow we got an interesting week 2 matchup between the Saints and the Jags, man. We're going to see what goes on with that thing. We don't know exactly who these guys are playing. I was doing some research to kind of figure that out. I know it's word that Travis Hunter, he's listed questionable with an injury. I think they're not going to allow him to play. But Coach Cohen, Liam Cohen, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator, now turned head coach of the squad, was reported by the Jacksonville, Florida Times-Union that Saturday that the starters will suit up for Sunday's preseason game against the Saints, though he did not confirm whether or not that mean Travis Hunter, will play. So that's Gary Smith of the Jackson, Florida Times-Union did admit that. So we're going to see some of the starters in the matchup, and this should be interesting. How much of them we're going to see will be good. So this will be a good test for the Saints going up against a Jacksonville team that's trying to put it together. So, like I said, very interesting times, man, we're going to be dealing with. So week 2, we did know that the Saints will ultimately, like we talked about before, fam, that they will start Tyler Shuck. He'll get an opportunity to get in there and play. And this is what we know. You know, we knew this was going to happen by way of the fact that the team wants to see what he looks like with the ones, even if Spencer would have balled out and had a 250-yard performance and it was perfect, a perfect 12 for 12 or whatever the case, and threw 3 touchdowns, they still was going to take a look at Shuck as the number 1 with the ones rather, and it's going to be interesting to see. So he'll get an opportunity to start, and Spencer Rattler will then follow up with an opportunity. But how much of that will yet to be determined? I know that the Saints pretty much are kind of looking at this thing and knowing that there's really a 2-quarterback race right here. You know, there is nobody else that, you know, we could kind of confirm and talk about and Spence and talk about, Jake Hayner's in there. He's going to do this, that, and the third. Nah, man, Jake Hayner is right where he belongs, a third-string quarterback, and it's really a 2-man competition. We talked about that. Once the real bullets start flying, how do these guys look in competition with other people? Like, you're going against other people's clubs. How do the Saints look? How these guys going to look in these close to regular season games that you can get? And you can see Jake Hayner came in and slung the piss out that interception. He thought he had it going until he didn't. But anyway, big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Big ups to Black Major. What's up, sir? Shout out to you, my brother. Good to see you, Mad Drummer. Big ups to you. Brother Heem HD says, Q, I watched a very interesting video today. I'd be happy to share it with you for the Who Dat Nation. Okay, send it to me, brother. All right, shout out to Muse. Much love to my girl Muse for being in the building. Brother Byron, OG Jerry. Shout out to my brother OG Jerry in the building as well. 504 Co. Who Dat for Life Chris. Much love to my fam. V Griffin. Vibing with the Johnsons. What's up, fam? How y'all doing as well? Good to see y'all in the stream. Thank y'all for y'all support. All the fam. Much love, man. Hope y'all having a fantastic weekend. What's up, Tamika? Shout out to my girl Tamika. Jaden, what's up, fam? 985 live in the building. What's up, bro? Brother English says, what's up, Q? Glad to be with you on this set. Same with you, my friend. Appreciate you for joining us as we talking some Saints, man. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty good. Brother Pete says, Q, what it do? I'm ready to see what these boys about. You know, hope it doesn't get hectic. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you know, you know what? That's right. That's right, my brother. You know, we kind of was spinning this one a lot last year, man. And we don't, you know, let me see. Do I have it here? I might have. Hold on. Is this it? Is this it? Yeah. Y'all remember that? I got the power. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that? I got the power. What's up? What's up, Jamaica? Shout out to you, St. John. How you doing, my friend? Good to see Brother John in the building as always. Pelicans Nola, what's popping, fam? Appreciate y'all, man, for being in this one. What's happening? All right, anyway. All right, we're going to go get into it, fam. Brother Hakeem, what's up, my brother? Good to see Brother Hakizzle in here, man. Much love to my boy. All right. What's up, Quavadius? Shout out to Quavadius in this thing. I always got to give the family members a great round of applause because it's all good, man. Much love. All right. Appreciate you. All right. So, yeah, it's awesome, man. But it's tomorrow's. And Vibin makes a good comment here and says, is the unofficial depth chart out for tomorrow's game? I want to say that it is, brother. I think it's the same unofficial depth chart that we seen right here. But, you know, let me go ahead on and pull it up, my friend, and see what we got because I got it saved here. And perhaps we'll see what it is, man. Let me see if I can get to it. All right. Yeah, it's basically the same thing here, man. Let me give a full screen for the family members so they can get an opportunity to see it right here. Yes, you guys can see Chris Olave there, and it's showing you all this. You see Penning still here, so they didn't update a damn thing. You know, they don't give injury reports right now anyway, so you can see. So yeah, they haven't updated anything. Penning is going to be out for more than a couple of weeks with that turf toe, and Dylan Redunce is going to step into this position. You see Torrey Sally Simpkins there. Mike Panasiewicz. I hope I'm saying that right. Panasiewicz. You know, these tough names kind of get with me, but I'm gonna learn it sooner or later if I ain't saying it right. But yeah, it's still the same depth chart that they've been doing for a while. So, all right, what's up, Pammy? Shout out to my girl Pammy in the stream. What's up, Pammy? How you doing? All right, much love. She said, "Big Q, I can't get no love." Oh no, you can't, girl. You know, it be moving. You know what I'm saying? I be talking and then stuff going on over here. You know, I'm looking, people asking questions. So nah, Pammy, you all right? Much love to Pammy. Everybody direct all y'all love towards Pammy. You know what I'm saying? She is awesome. We want to make her feel welcomed in the building, right? I've been saying welcome, welcome, welcome for a long time now. Yeah. All right. Shout out to you, Pammy. Good to see you. All right. Big ups to you. All right. Who else there? I don't want to leave nobody else. I don't want nobody in their feelings saying, what's that? What's up, Brother Bonds? How you doing, sir? Much love. Appreciate you, my friend. All right. I don't want nobody getting in their feelings. But what's up? What's up, Big Sean? Shout out to my dog, Sean. Brother Brandon, how you doing, sir? Yeah. That's right. All right, Mad Drummer says, Q, I was watching the video earlier and the guys was talking about the NFC South and they got to us. And that was pretty much bearing us talking about how we made no changes to the D line. I don't know who said that. because that's a big, stinking, nasty, maggot infested lie. Let me just put it to you like that. I wanted to be as vocal and vivid and as I can, because that is a huge fabrication, bro, about Saints not doing anything to their defensive line. That's not true. They traded for Define Gocho. They added him at the nose tackle position. He's going to be a very big piece of the Saints defense. They gave up a 7th-round pick for 2026 to get him here. That brother can play. Go and look at his stats. The thing about him is his game is not flashy, but he plays a lot, and he was productive as two Saints. Like, you can take his statistics and take Nate Shepard and Colin Saunders stats and put them to get Shepard and Bing Saunders, and put their stuff together and make one of him. Statistically speaking, he's a force in the interior of the defense, right? At that nose tackle spot. He's a force there. They knew they needed somebody to run that 34 defense inside to do that, because we know that if it ain't popping, if that defensive line ain't pop, man, ain't nothing. Hold on, fam. Let me turn this damn bed on. I'm on the move, y'all. Y'all gotta excuse me, But hey, listen. Let me just put it to you like this, baby. Gocho was a big addition. That's number one. The Saints drafted people like Vernon Broughton. He's raw right now in terms of his development, but he's going to develop into something good. They brought in other players. They can't say nothing about the Saints bringing in defensive personnel. That's all they do. It's bringing people on the defensive side, whether they drafting them or signing them in free agency. They changing it up, so it's not the same line. It ain't even the same formation. How they gonna use some of these guys? Chase Young looks totally different in this system. I know that KT ain't gonna like that shit, but I'm just keeping it real. Granderson, they look really good in this system. So the Saints defense making a shift from 43 to the 34, and then you even seen in practices that they thinking about using other alignments. They could be using other alignments. There was something like a 5, the 5-1-5. You got five defensive linemen, 1 linebacker, and 5 DBs. You seen that? You see the unofficial depth chart lists a different formation. How did they not run in the 34? Because they're not going to be showing you exactly what they're doing with that 34 until that first week come out. So they're testing out these different things, and whatever they're doing behind closed doors when they practice, when we don't see them and them running the 34 in practice. Remember, the game plan is not to give the league nothing to watch on film. We can't give them anything to watch on film, right? So the thing is, like, when I look at preseason, the way I view it is, and I know different people view it different ways. The way I view preseason is, when I'm looking at preseason, I'm like, okay, I'm looking not so much at the plays they run it, because they're not going to show you a lot. I'm more interested in the execution of whatever you're running. Like, whatever you're running, are you executing? Are you making catches? Are you making blocks? How crisp are you in your execution? This type of stuff. The overall intelligence level of the players. Are they catching the system? Because it'll give you a small indication of how fast these players are going to pick up Kellen's system. If it's a complicated system, this type of stuff. So I kind of watch that. Not so much, all this other stuff going on, because they're going to be vanilla as possible. They're going to be as bland as they can until they can't, right? So, it's all good. All right. Pelicans Nola says, Q, the Giants are loaded with tight ends, and the Saints need to pick one of those guys up. I'm with you on that. I talked about that before, about the adding of the people, and people message me. Now, listen, all the family members that's messaging me in the comment sections, keep on doing it. Keep doing it. I'll be answering a lot of stuff. I'll be answering stuff from different platforms, but keep on doing it. I'm going to get to you. What's up, JT? What's up, Dr. Key? How you doing? Appreciate Dr. Key. What's up, brother Chris? How you doing, sir? Chris Morris. Shout out to you, sir. Much love. Appreciate you. But, that's how, we watch these Saints games for all this time. And, it is. What's up, Alandis? Shout out to Alandis, man. Much love, bro. Good to see you. So, people kind of ask, leave questions or comments, and I do my best, fam. I'm really working on getting better at, answering the comments and and all this kind of stuff. I promise you I'm working on that. But this is the thing, about the thought process of what a rebuild is. People saying rebuild. Listen, fam, the Saints are not your classic rebuild. It's like, and the reason why I'm saying that is because a rebuild means you got a bunch of young players. Majority of the team is young, and they're trying to, you might have a young coach, a young team, and the majority of the team is young. You do have veterans on it, but it's more youth to veteran ratio, right? It's a team trying to learn how to play football professionally together, right? It's a team that is not as, is not going to say void of leadership or void of experienced leadership at key positions. The Saints is still very much a team that has a wealth of really good veteran leadership, right? It's kind of a interesting mix. We're not quite a classic rebuild, right? It appears to be different levels. Like, for instance, like you've seen what Carolina did. Carolina had like a rebuild, like a classic rebuild where they, had young players, a young quarterback, and all this kind of stuff. And it was different because they drafted this guy to be the savior of their franchise. I don't think anybody in the Saints Nation, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, sees Tyler Shuck as the Saints savior. They see these like we just want solid quarterback play, right? Like we not look. Tyler Shuck is not a superstar. He wasn't the first overall quarterback taken in the draft. It's a different thing. Like Bryce Young, what happened with him in Carolina when he went in there, and it's just you like, what y'all want me to do with all this? I've never been here before. And he just, after the team failed, and he was able to kind of build on the back end and get better without the pressure of winning. He just needed to learn. Different effect with CJ Stroud. When CJ Stroud went there to Houston, they got the winning right away. Their first year he got there, then people went to the playoffs. And I think they won a playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. The first year there, Jalen Daniels, when Jalen Daniels went to the Washington Commanders, the Washington Waterburgers, he went up there and had success right away. But they had pieces in place, and all they needed was competent quarterback play. And they were able to take the step. So what I'm saying is, the Saints' philosophy, nobody looks at it like, okay, we going to just build offense first and then we're going to build a defense up. And then nobody does that. The NFL is not for long. Even if you feel like you got a 4 or 5 year agreement to be the head coach, you're going to get as much talent, but you have to be real and serious in your critique of the players. Staley, the defensive coordinator, has it because you can tell he has a green light. If he don't like a guy and how the guy's playing, he gonna go to Kellen, say, hey, Kellen, I need to get this other guy here. And then bam, you got a guy there. So the way Kellen Moore allows Staley to add defensive pieces to his side of the football, that's how you see the defense showing up in training camp and really just getting at the offense. The defense has been really running the camp. The offense will give a few sparks here or there, but the defense been running that shit at practice, at camp. They've been running. The reason, and then I speak about this before because the man, you're gonna be, and also this is a thing too. You build according to your access to resources, meaning that if I have more financial flexibility versus somebody who doesn't, then my construction will move faster than the person who don't have the money to buy boards and nails to put together for their house. If I got the money, the financial resources, and the capital to get it, my shit getting built before that other guy is. Also, I have to be real with myself to know what I need help with. I have to be real in my evaluation about who these players are. You see, I have to be real about that. If I'm not, then I'm in for a rude awakening. And Staley has that vision. He has that thought process that I have. Like Staley has that, like, listen, if I say a Foskey is not going to show up, man, let's get this other man. Let me see what this other guy got. I can't afford to sit here and wait for you. We got to do something now. You see what I'm saying? These people want to see a good defense. Whether you win or lose, people going to want to see you play hard. They know you're not going to win every game. And for people that think that way, I don't know what to tell you. But most people who watch the Saints and watch football, they won't see some good football. They won't see competent football play. They won't see you have a full out effort and give. If you lose the game, they can live with that if you gave 110%. They're not going to like it if you out there fumbling, stumbling, bumbling, missing blocks, dumb, don't know what you're doing. They're going to eat you alive, and they should. So at the end of the day, man, that's the thought process on it. Like when we watching preseason games, I watch for execution. I don't care about vanilla and chocolate or strawberry or mint or whatever the hell you got. Whatever it is, you better execute. That's how we figure. That's how you catch the ball, make a block, make a tackle, hit a field goal, punt the ball correctly. Execution. Correct execution is what most coaches look for. That's how players make the team. So that's what I'm talking. We talk about rebuild. Another thing is people seeing it, and I got a show that I'm gonna come up with it that I'll have for tomorrow morning before the game. That we'll go more into it, fam. So we'll talk about that. What's up, Jay Huntsberry? Shout out to my girl Bev. What's up, Beverly? Shout out to you. All right, much love to y'all, man. 504 Coast Security did a great job answering. Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Now, but the talking points, like, man, I view the game differently. You know, I'm a guy that views things differently. I kind of span it. I don't look at it at one way. You know, I take things, and I always talk to y'all about like multi-dimensional viewing. Like you look at it from different angles. Like say, for instance, like you've seen the Marvel movies. You'll see Tony Stark's, right? Tony Stark's had this thing where he building something, and then he'll have the light emitting, you know, like he'll do it, and then it'll be like a light construct of something that he's building, and it's in front of him, and then he'll take the light of whatever it is, and he'll spin it around and look at it. And you see what I'm saying? And what that basically is like an animation or a graphic of how you view things like topics and subjects. It's just how I trained my mind to think for so many years about looking at stuff. I look at it from different vantage points. That's why I look at things in levels. And Kellen Moore, the thing I give Kellen Moore grace is he don't know this team like you know it. He don't know it. He ain't been here long enough to know the Saints like you know it. He just stepped through the door. He don't know it. He don't know that Shane Lemieux garbage or Landon Young ain't that good. He don't know that. They got to show it to him. You said we done seen these guys. We know what they're capable of, right? But in the end, man, you know, he don't know them as well as you know these people. He don't know it. So that's what it comes down to, getting them on the same vision, man. What's up, Barbara? Shout out to you. Good to see you. Dwayne, what's up, my brother? All right, so anyway, fam, let me go on and get into it, man. If y'all got any questions, please feel free to kind of throw it in the comment section, man. Put Q in front of it, man, so I can kind of, because y'all got a lot of comments there, and I won't miss nobody's question. Please feel free. Put Q in front of it so I can kind of see it. All right, Gundam, what's up, my brother? How you doing? He said, Saints, we good? So listen, bro. Y'all know I give you the real deal. And we did this schedule thing. I was like, yeah, man, looking at the schedule was really agreeable. And I say, man, if the Saints can do this, it is all based on if the Saints can run the ball. That's what it comes down to. Now, what I mean by that, I mean that they're going to stack the box against the Saints. This is just what they're going to do. If I was a defensive coordinator, week 1, Arizona Cardinals, I'm putting everybody on that line. Because just like in life, you got to see if the quarterback, can execute. Can Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler, whoever's going to be the day one quarterback of the regular season, can they execute? Can they be able to walk up to that line, see that defense, you know, make sure the offense is lined up correctly, right? Audible out of something that might, you know, into something that, you know, you see the defense piling up against you. You know you got to run. They showing like they about to hit you with the blitz. You know, do you have the wherewithal to be able to then audible out to something that you could take advantage of? You know that. knowing and understanding that with the track team that Kellen Moore, because that's what we was thinking about, man, why we didn't get a big physical wide receiver to pair with Chris Olave. And like I said, the last couple of streams, I was like, man, I think he's trying to put a track team together because he know they're going to stack the box against his inexperienced quarterbacks. Kellen Moore, he knows. So if they stack the box against Alvin Kamara, even Shannon Sharp said that. And even Ocho said, well, I'm just throw it over the top. I know Tyler Shuck can drop it in the basket. I've seen him do it with Mason Tipton. He did it in practice, throwing 40 and 50-yard bombs. Spencer Rattler can do it. We know that they can beat that's one of the easiest thing a good quarterback can do is throw a deep ball to a wide receiver, just darting down the field, and he got a cornerback on him and no safety support. You're supposed to put that on him. That's one of the easiest throw. He get that ball out of there. And that would change the game, because if the Saints can do that and get the ball out to their track team from Shuck or Rattler, that'll open up the running attack. But the offensive line is big. If the offensive line can't hold up to block, even when they do open things up, it's going to be a long season. It's all predicated on the offensive line, like offensively speaking, because if the offensive line does not execute, it's a drain on everybody else. The defense gets drained because they have to constantly go out there and play and get a ball back to the offense. If the offense not marching the ball and they're not scoring, that's a drain, right? So they have to clean that up. So it's will we be okay? It's based on if the offensive line can dominate. That's really what it is. Now, we know the quarterback's got to play with a level of consistency and competency to not hurt the team. But at the same time, we also do realize, too, that, man, listen, Saints got to run the football to win. So if they can do that, man, listen, we're not facing a lot of world-beaten teams. We're facing a lot of division bottom-feeding teams on our schedule. You can't tell me the Saints can't beat the Arizona Cardinals. You can't tell me the Saints can't beat split with either one of our NFC South comrades, that they can't beat the Giants, that they can't beat the Patriots, that they can't beat what's the other garbage time team we play? That they can't beat the Sea Chickens. This ain't the same Seattle Seahawk team that had Geno playing there. He ain't even there. He went to the Raiders. That's not the same team up there. The 49ers wasn't very good last year. They had injuries all over the place. The 49ers is a team, and like I said, the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season, you're going to be playing teams that are making a lot of mistakes, trying to figure that out. You got the 49ers in week 2. You got whatchamacallit in week 3, and Buffalo in 4. Buffalo's a tough team. We know that's going to be a tough out. But the rest of these bottom-feeding teams like the Jets, the Giants, you can't tell me the Saints can't go in there and get a 3-point win on these teams. I mean, so like I said, man, we're going to see how it all go. But I just think that it's predicated on the Saints offensive line, and we need to handle business with that. All right. But anyway, much love, fam. Appreciate y'all, man. How y'all doing, man? Hope y'all doing all right, man, on this Saturday afternoon, man. Feel good to talk to y'all. What's up, young bloods? Hope we see improvement in the running game tomorrow. Yeah, me too, fam. All right. What's up, Elry? Mr. McGee, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you, brother. All right, Bob says, Q, I'm to the point. Put Simpkins at right guard and let's see what he Now, Simpkins, you gotta the thing about what they did with Dylan Redunce. That was horrible. And I think people was kind of mixing the point. Like I was saying, I was like, listen, man, Dylan, you don't cross-train everybody. Like, if you, like, people got to understand. I know y'all get it, but people got to understand what I'm saying, fam. Like, when I talked about the fact that the Saints have resources, man, listen, the Saints got $20 million. $20 million right now to spend. And we ain't talking about them spending, because right now, if you going into free agency and you picking up a tight end, the Saints could afford Noah Fant for $8 million. They could afford Keenan Allen for $8 million. They could, they can easily go and pick up a couple of veterans. They brought in Cody Whitehair and offensive lineman Quisenberry. They brought both of them dudes in here, and then Cody Whitehair. Yeah, they didn't even sign none of them. Now that's a different philosophy from what the defense is doing. The defense is bringing undrafted guys in here, but some of the guys they bring in there are veterans. Undrafted that have been in the league 3 or 4 years that has some sort of a track record. The offense got a lot of inexperienced guys. Like instead of going to get like one of these veteran tackles or guards that's super cheap, you can get these guys super cheap. They got Mike Penasoic, and I like Penasoic's game, but I'm like, damn, what was this? And so you kind of question the difference and think because it's two completely separate thought processes going on. Because you see what Brandon Staley's doing with his defense with these veterans, and then you look over here to Kellen Moore and Nussmeier, and you saying, man, what what's going on here, man? What are you guys doing with that? And the reason why I'm saying that is because, listen, we've been here before. Don't repeat the mistakes of the past. Backup offensive line play last year was insufferable. Don't repeat it. Learn from the past. If you learn from the past, you avoid it repeating itself. So that's when I was throwing at the family members, like, I don't want to repeat the past. But Kellen Moore and Nussmeier and these guys, they have to figure that out. So we're gonna see some more stuff as we get further on, because they need to see some more of these people we talking about. The Barry Wesleys, the Kyle Hergels, the Easton Kilties, the Landon Youngs, all these other guys that's not doing nothing. But Dylan Redundant's playing out of position to play tackle was a dumb decision. And I was like, don't do that. Just go get a tackle. You got $20 million. What you doing? That upset me because you don't have a really good backup. If anytime the Saints are using the guard that's supposed to be competing with with Trevor Penning at left guard, and they're using him as a blindside tackle, that's problems. Y'all don't see that? That's bad. That's Landon. Isn't that Landon Young? What does this damn thing say here? I got on the screen right here. Isn't that Landon Young? Who's the blindside tackle? It's supposed to be Landon Young. Well, we seen the Saints play Dylan Redundant at the blindside tackle. Dylan Redundant don't have any expertise in playing blindside tackle. What do you got him over there for? He's your back. He is your 6th best offensive lineman, right? He's supposed to be. So in the end, I'm like, man, that you have to fix that. You have to go out and get somebody, because that's not something you want to play with, Saints. You don't want to play with your backup offensive lineman, especially a blindside reserve. You don't want to play with that. But Torrey Simpkins has been awesome. These other backup guys have been not so awesome, not even close. I was doing the breakdown on the film with Torrey Simpkins on our Patreon channel. Y'all can check out the links in the description. Breaking out, Torrey Simpkins was up there blocking 2 people. When the last time you seen a Saints guy do that? He pushed one big ass guy down, blew him, knocked him on the ground, and then quickly went and blocked another guy. And it was on 2 separate sides of the field. He was a center. He fired off, helped the right guard out, pushed the right guard who he was blocking. He knocked his man down and then moved to the left guard and blocked that guy. I say that's what I'm talking about. But you don't have anybody else that's showing that level of intelligence or enthusiasm and passion and strength doing that except Torrey Simpkins. Kyle, I was watching Easton Kilty. I was hoping Easton Kilty could do something similar. We have not seen it. But Simpkins is handling business, right? Handling business. All right. What's up? What's up, Barbara? She says, Q, what we going to do about the blindside O-line? I think you're saying about the backups, huh, Queen? That's the question. I think they'll have to eventually address that, because the tape don't lie. It's, in practice, the practices haven't been all that good with the backup linemen, So when you get an organized game, you see all that because it's actual tape in an organized manner where we can be able to look at and see what's going on. So I can give some grace to Easton Kilty and some of these other guys because they're undrafted, they're inexperienced. But at the same time, you give some grace and you would want to see improvement from game to game. So they're not going to play that much during the regular season, obviously. You hope not. But at the same time, in preseason play, you want to see if they can at least earn a spot on the team because they have some type of concept that they know what they're doing. Right? And we just have to see how it plays. Thank you, Barbara. Hakeem says, Q, how do you like Clydro chances of making the team? It's looking pretty good, bro, to be honest with you, brother Hakeem, because the 4 running backs, the one that's kind of fall down the roster is Cam Akers. Akers kind of slid down a bit. You look at the top running backs, where AK got spot 1, obviously, right? Number 2 is Kendre Miller. Number 3 to me is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And number 4 to me is Velus Jones Jr. Devin Neal is still hurt. The Saints might put him on the pup list or something to avoid, just to have him on the roster spot, not subject him to the waiver line. Marcus Jones is probably going to get released if he clears waivers, once they start making the cuts, I'm saying. This could be the case. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, at this point right now, you can see how Clyde Edwards-Helaire blocks. He catches out the backfield. He got elusibility. He's a special product. He's a special player. And that's when they signed him out, and MVS, I love that. I thought they should have kept both of them in the Saints building. But Clyde is a guy that's always going to find a spot because he can do a lot of different things. But I think Cam Akers has fallen out the top 4. Is it possible that he keeps 4 guys? Remember, he did that as an offensive play caller for the Chargers. He had 4 running backs when he did that. And of course, the 4th back will be a special teams player with those type of application. But Velus Jones Jr. kind of really showed some stuff, didn't he, fam? Velus Jones really showed some stuff, to be honest with you. Velus really showed some stuff, catching the ball out the backfield, making plays upfield. Velus Jones showed some very positive things. So, yeah, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire be all right, bro. All right. Quavadia said the Saints need to sign Gabe Davis ASAP. It is what it is. All right. Yeah, we know. All right. Dwayne, what's up, bro? Says the offensive line is key to the season. If we live up to expectations, we win the division. Book it. The offensive, it's big, bro. Tim says, Shuck QB1. That's right. He's going into the game as well. What's up, Dr. Gray? How you doing, sir? We got Dr. Key and Dr. Gray. We fully covered in the coma, fam. We got the best doctors in the building. All right. Shout out to the doctors, man. All right, Mad Drummer says Kamara for over 50. Yes, indeed, Mad Drummer. I said this before. I said, 1,500 rushing yards. Is that what you said, bro? Is that what 1,500 this season? What y'all think? 1,500 what? Scrimmage? 1,500 rushing yards? Listen, if this offensive line do what it's supposed to do, I've been saying this for a long time. If the Saints were serious with that offensive line play, we could see a similar type of year where AK-41 having similar to what his counterpart Christian McCaffrey do with the San Francisco 49ers. They got a serious rushing attack that's based on Christian McCaffrey, maybe a little too much, but Christian McCaffrey stirs that offense. He balances that offense. And Alvin Kamara, no disrespect to Mr. McCaffrey, but Kamara to me is a player that can do everything Christian does and more. The Saints have not utilized them in that way that we even see the Panthers or even the 49ers have. If they had, he would have had multiple 1,000-yard seasons by now. 1,000-yard season. The last year was a year where he should have had 1,000 yards. But remember, he was running into lines and getting 2-yard pickups because the offensive line had no push. They should have got rid of them guys last year and brought new guys in. That's how you shake the culture. So absolutely, man. What's up, Desi? Shout out to Desi. What's up, Dre? Shout out to Dre. All right, Dr. Gray says the writing's on the wall for the offense. Bad at practice, dull in preseason game. Kellen has not made any major changes. Offense look like it has taken a step back. Wow. Let me tell you, Dr. Gray. I watched Kellen Moore's facial expressions, family. Y'all seen it too. We watch Kellen Moore's facial expressions. He was like, he wasn't pleased. Let's just say he wasn't pleased. He wasn't pleased, right? With his offense. His offense wasn't as far along as he thought they were. You could see some of the good, because the thing about Kellen Moore is he's not one of these guys that like kind of keeps a stoic demeanor where you can't read him, or he has a poker face, right? You see what I'm saying? He don't have a poker face. What you see is what you get, right? It's a certain genuinity, or genuine, I guess, a realness, or authentic feel about the man, because he don't have the poker face. The guy is just, he was showing his face like, man, what are you guys doing? Why do this type of stuff? And I was like, man, he ain't pleased. But the reality is, he thought they was a little further along, because practice can fool you. Practice can fool you. You can practice your ass off, but if you can't make it mesh in an organized game, you're going to be having these sessions like Dennis Allen talked about the last several years. Man, we had I called them Hall of Fame practices. Y'all remember? They had the Saints had Hall of Fame practices, then get in the game, can't make a block, can't make a tackle. Hall of Fame practices galore. But doesn't mean anything if you can't execute. You can't put it all together. All right. What's up, Red Swamp? Shout out to you, bro. Says Q. You're playing the last place team for each division because your cells were a last place team. Yeah, this is true. That's the way it goes. Teams are looking forward to getting an easy W from the Saints. Hey, listen, you're not saying anything wrong. The Saints were a last place team. Yeah, they were a last place team. But the reality of the day is it's all about who executes better to get the win. So, telling me something factual about the team, Red Swan, is not hurting my feelings. You are speaking truth. You're educating the family members. And yes, they are a last place team. Last year, we played the Jets, the Giants, the Patriots, and all these other last place teams. The Arizona Cardinals, all last place teams. But there's no shame in that. The shame is if you let last year's last place teams beat you this year, right? Even though they've improved their team, I don't think the Saints are worse than these other teams. And it's up to them to prove me right. It's up to them to prove me right. All right. What's up, Mons? What's up, Bronze Flat Power God? Big ups to you, fam. Blood says, Q, I might be wrong, but I think Tipton is for real this year. He definitely got that fourth receiver spot locked up. He playing strong, bro. He playing strong. Sean says he's standing 10 toes down on 9 wins. I keep telling people they got the Saints meshed up with Arizona's and all the Patriots and the Jets and the Giants. Fam, listen, the reason why the Saints were losing was because, it's a psychological effect to a football team. Like if you the Jets, the Giants, the Cardinals, and teams that have been losing for years. I'm saying beyond multiple years of losing coaches. We had a coach here that was going to be in the Hall of Fame, Coach Payton. You had a guy that got into the coaching ranks by Dennis Allen. Bad hire. The guy didn't know what he was doing. He came here. They didn't get him out fast enough. We had to literally boycott the Saints for them to force the man out of here. The reason why I say that is because changing the culture of a bad organization is tough to do, right? A special type of coach has to do that because the people that's attached to the team, whether they the support base or the players or the people in the building, even ownership to a degree, they've already been programmed with a kind of a culture of losing. So when things kind of go a little bit south, they automatically start saying, oh, here we go again, this type of dumb shit. And it ends bad. So, when you have a coach that comes here and he himself is the reason why the team is failing, not just the coach is the dumbass coach. That's a whole nother kettle of wax. Like I said, it's different levels to how teams lose. You know what I'm saying? You don't just lose. It's a reason for what's happening. And like I said, looking at the Saints, the biggest reason why I seen the team was failing was because they had a dumb coach at the top of the team who was non-accountable. He backstabbed his own team and he did all kind of weird shit. It fractured his own team. The people didn't want to play for him. It's just crazy. You get him out of here. The guy that he picked to be the QB who made a bunch of excuses and all this bullshit, got him out of here. So that you have two people that were really problematic because Dennis Allen, his quarterback, was just a part of what he chose, bad decision making. He's gone. You got a guy that is innovative. You got a guy that is coming in here with a resume. He just won a championship as an offensive coordinator. So when you take the pieces that he left, which is Elvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Jawan Johnson, and all these other people, you put people with it. You're not a team at the bottom. The only reason why you failed is because you had a dummy running the team. You had a fool, a bad head coach who was yourself, didn't know what he was doing. That guy and all his energy is out of here. His quarterback is out of here, who represented that same energy. He's out of here. And what you do have left is people that want to win, that's intelligent, that's accountable, and that's what you want. And that gives you a chance. Anytime you have that, we got a chance. And like I said, man, it's all about them getting it together, getting the depth together. We're not talking about starters, right? I'm talking about depth. That's what I'm talking. Like our offensive line, if healthy, they're gonna wreck some stuff. Our wide receivers, even though you want a big possession guy, we got those three wide receivers are good. They're gonna stretch the field. Chris Olave can run. Rashid Shaheed, the fastest man on the team. You got Brandon Cooks who can still move and shake. He can run routes real good. The guy still can play. So you got a track team there. Jawan Johnson got his money. We're looking for Jawan to step up. We talking about depth. We need depth at the tight end position because you got injuries there and a lot of unproven guys. You need depth at the offensive line. You got your best offensive lineman that's coming off the bench is now playing the guard spot because Penning's out for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. So you need depth there. Torrey Taylor-Simpkins is a bright spot, but what else? You see what I'm saying? We talking depth. You need depth to win in the league because it's a physical sport. You might lose some of these guys. Somebody got to step up. You need depth in the wide receiver position. The Saints have pretty much did a good job of putting together the starters. They need depth in some of these spots. That's what I'm talking about. So that's not as bad as needing starters at those positions. You're just talking about fortifying. We need fortification. What's up, L-Dub? Shout out to you, man. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going, man. I promise I'm gonna get back to you. What's up, Big Smoke? I'm gonna get back to y'all questions momentarily. Let me kind of jump in here, man, and talk about the preview stream. I was supposed to have a guest, they didn't show up, but we're gonna do the preview stream anyway. Much love. All right, so we're gonna start off here, man. Here's one right here. Starting off the Saints Jaguars. To talk about the predictions for tomorrow's games, the lines, and all this kind of stuff. Here's the team trends. Jaguars lost their first preseason game against the Steelers 31-25. We know about the Saints losing to the Chargers 27-13. Last season, the Jags had a road record of 1-8-0. The Saints had a home record of 3-6-0 last season. We got to get, and you know what? Let me kind of bring it back. Because we got to win. We got to start doing this better, man. Fam, that's totally ridiculous. A 3-6 record at home, I don't know what it is, but we can't play no games with these home teams anymore, man. We got to make this stuff pop for real. We got to learn. We got to win at home. Like we said, we got a favorable schedule, but we got to learn to win at home, fam. Straight up, man. This is ridiculous. It's 3-6, man, at home. In the Superdome, we're supposed to dominate. That's supposed to be 6-3. The game will be played in season Superdome weather conditions. When not a fact, it's a dome. Saints, Jags preview, right? Ready for action week 2. Jags coming to this game, like what we said, 1-0, Saints 1-0. But for the Jags, Nick Mullins is set to lead the offense as the starting quarterback. Mullins is projected to throw it 89 yards and 1 touchdown. On this side, the Saints will rely on Tyler Shuck, who expected to pass for $165 and 1 touchdown. Both teams will test their depth and prepare for a regular season battle. Now, with that being said, we talked about it, and the starting quarterback, I think there was a report that I started off with the family members that Liam Cohen said that his starters will play. Here it is. Let me get that up for you. His starters will play against the Saints because he wants to see what they can do, right? This is from their side of things that Liam Cohen announced if starters will play against the Saints, and he did say that they will play. He says in weeks preseason games, Saints will starters set to play. So he wants to see what those guys will do. I don't think Travis will play in the game. He suffered an injury, but we expect actions against some of the Saints starters. I mean, from the Jag starters. So we'll see how it all rolls and goes. But in the end, it'll be interesting to see what happens there because, like I said, it's going to come down to the Saints battling for ultimately the depth positions. I mean, in terms of the lines, you always want to see how the offensive line plays the defensive line, but it's also the skill positions offensively speaking. You want to see that happen, right? Tyler Shuck will take the lead starting quarterback for the Saints, expected to throw $165 and a touchdown. Spencer will back him up, projected to throw 53 yards. On the ground, Kendre Miller will be the primary running back. He's projected to run, they're given the projections. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Velus Jones will provide additional support to contribute to the passing game. Mason Timpton stands out with the wide receivers with a projection of 54 yards. Kevin Austin Jr., Cedric Wilson Jr. will be targets. Kellen Moore will guide the team through the Superdome. So, aiming at improvement. They're saying Mullins will start. We'll see. So they want to see what their guys can do. They're going to see if they can run them. They want to see if they can test the Saints rushing attack and put up numbers against the Saints. We are looking in that same direction. We want to know from a perspective, what could happen? What could the Saints do against this team? We want to see how our rushing attack, if we could put up some numbers against this defense. We need to see if we can run that ball better. Jags, Saints, key matchups, secondary to face familiar foe or familiar foe. Heading to the Big Easy Sunday to take on the Saints. This is what they're talking about, some of the matchups they want to see. Travis Hunter is not going to be in the game. The latest report I heard, difficult to know exactly who's going to play. And one such name will be familiar as Kevin Austin Jr. began his career with Jacksonville, undrafted out of Notre Dame. He couldn't crack the 53-man roster with the Jags. He ended up with the Saints, and he's getting opportunities with the Saints. So they talking about some of this, but it's going to ultimately come down. Like, we want to see, can Tyler Shuck, right, continue his trajectory upwards? Can Tyler Shuck be a guy that who be true for $153 and touchdown, an interception, which was he drew a pick six. That's the worst type of interception. So, me personally, man, I want to see what he can do against that Jaguars defense, right? Against their ones, our ones against their ones. Can Tyler keep that going? And then, of course, Spencer will be in the twos, and how does Spencer look better? And that's the thing. If Tyler Shuck wants to jump ahead in the lead for the quarterbacks here, this could be his springboard right here. Now, I said before, like with Spencer Rattler, the competition, I ain't gonna say it's against him, but you'd be kind of you would be fooling yourself if you don't think for a second that even though Kellen Moore might like you as a quarterback, I mean, if he really wanted you to be his starting quarterback full time to take the Saints into the future, he wouldn't have took Shuck with a second round pick. So we've seen this over the last 3 years. Every offensive lineman over the last 3 years selected their own quarterback. You know, the two prior are gone. We have Nussmeier here. He picked Tyler Shuck to be the guy. So obviously Kellen Moore wants Shuck to be the quarterback, but he has to prove it on the field. Spencer has done a decent job of keeping him out of that, but Spencer has to have a knockdown. He has to have a solid night day against the Jags whenever he plays. And hopefully we don't see Jake Haener play at all. We need to see basically the battle between Spencer Rattler, and Tyler Shuck for the Saints starting job. Jake Haener doesn't need to get any snaps unless it's like 2 or 3 snaps at the end of the game. We don't need to see Jake Haener in the game. We don't need to see him. We need to get our quarterback stuff straight. And then also outside of that, against the Jaguars, you want to see your offensive line open up the running attack. I would love to see that. That's something I ain't see enough of in the first matchup. We need to get that together. Really do. The wide receiver battle behind our track team. Who's the fourth and fifth and sixth wide receivers? They're stepping out. We've seen Kevin Austin Jr. make a few plays. We've seen Donovan Peoples-Jones get out there. He ain't done anything. It's just very we need to see more, right? The tight end, the backup tight end, Jacobson and Trayton Welch and Matavo and Seth Green. Somebody needs to kind of step up because we don't know exactly when we're going to get a Foster Monroe or a Taysom Hill back probably later on in the year. We don't know. So somebody has to step up. The Saints might know something. Maybe that's why they ain't going after experienced tight ends right now. They might feel, okay, such and such will be back at this date because they have all the medicals on those guys. They know exactly when they're coming back. They know. So it's more of a guess for us because we don't have that exact data, but they have all the medical timelines. They know exactly when these players are able to get to the next level and they are coming back or projected, exactly when they're going to return. So all we can do is kind of look at the tight end position and say, damn, why did not go and get a veteran with all these inexperienced guys? Perhaps Foster Monroe is supposed to be coming back sooner than we think. That's maybe they feel a little comfortable. But Jake Stahl's another guy. He's the blocker. He's also in the mix. But he's not a pass-catching guy, but he's the Saints' best blocking tight end. So you want to see some of these other guys back kind of make, offensively speaking, make their presence known. And then, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, that's a whole nother kettle of wax period. You want to see the Saints continue to make plays and build the team and this sort of thing going forward. But it's going to be interesting no matter how you look at it, man, with this Jaguars offense, man. So anyway, let me kind of bring up the depth chart for the Jacksonville Jaguars and kind of go over this thing. So like I said, some of the starters are going to start. For the Jags, we don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to be one of them. We don't know. They're saying Nick Mullins is probably going to get there. He's the backup. Travis Etienne Jr. is there with Tank Bigsby, a couple of people. I know they were talking about Bashir Tootin was another guy they wanted to see get some run. LaQuint Allen Jr. is another guy that they high on, the backup running backs. Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU, big wide receiver. We don't know if he'll play. Dahami Brown is there. They got a few really interesting wide receiver options there. We're going to get an opportunity to take a look at. Tight end is Brenton Strange, Hunter Long, and the rest of these guys will get an opportunity. We'll get a look at their line. Little, Cleveland, Hainsey, McCarry, Harrison, Anton Harrison, another interesting player on the Jags offensive line. Defensively speaking, a few of these guys, I don't know if Eric Armstead will play. But like I say, the Jaguars is a team that's been kind of falling down over the last several years, too. They haven't been consistently able to do nothing. I think Dougie Peterson did some positive stuff with them for a year or two, but they have not consistently found success. Versus what we remember Jacksonville used to be able to do. Like, they were a pretty respectable team when they first stepped into the league. They had Mark Brunell running them. This was years ago. The Jaguars was actually a respectable football team, and then they fell on hard times, and they hadn't been able to rebound. They sold the team, and since this new owner had them, this guy has not been able to get them to do anything but being consistent. I don't know if he's a meddling-ass owner or something like that, but they hadn't been able to win or do anything consistently in a positive way, So anyway, with that being said, that's a couple of things to kind of talk about with the preview matchup between these clubs. And basically what we want to see is, how, our defense and offensive lines response to theirs. I would love to see more of the return game too, fam, because that's also something to talk about on the return side of it is who are the returners, who are our returns? We know there's still a punting battle. There's a lot of stuff going on with our side that we want to get down to the brass tacks about. Like, you can take a look at the Saints lineup. We're looking at it now, and you can see, like we talked about it, fam, about Devin Neals being out, but Cam Akers slid down. Like I said before, in my opinion, Elvin Kamara, behind Elvin is Kendre Miller, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Velus Jones Jr. Cam Akers then slid down, in my opinion. Marcus Jones hadn't done anything to separate himself, and Devin Neals hurt. So it's kind of making it simple, in my opinion. I think he does keep 4 because Velus Jones Jr. provides a wide receiver for the wide receiver room, his speed, and he can be he's listed as a running back to be added there as well, and he has special teams application, so he's a versatile player that could sneak into the 53-man roster. So Cedric Wilson Jr., Mason Tipton has been doing some positive stuff. But who else? Who else has been doing anything positive? Nobody has really, separated themselves. Cedric Wilson Jr. is still inconsistent. So is Kevin Austin Jr. Dante Pettis, they're giving him more looks because he's also a big wide receiver with speed, and he runs decent routes, can catch, and he has special teams applications. Donovan Peoples-Jones is not doing anything. Moochie Dixon is not doing anything. Roderick Daniels Jr. just got on the team. The Saints love juniors. They got Cedric Wilson Jr., Kevin Austin Jr., Roderick Daniels Jr. They love juniors. So they got it. Bub Means, of course, he was put on the IR with that ankle. So somebody got to step up, right? And, of course, you go tight end. We just talked about that. And then we look at the backup offensive lineman. We got a hitter and Torrey Sally-Simpkins. And I think Mike Panasiewicz is another guy that could be good for you. The UFL castoff who won awards. He was like an elite level player in their leagues. And I think he's a sneaky good pickup for the Saints, but it'll be a battle to see where they fit him in as a backup, as a reserve. But nothing from Lemieux, nothing from Raheem, nothing from Mendoza, nothing from Easton Kilty or Barry Wesley or Landon Young. None of these guys are doing anything to distinguish themselves. And then, of course, on the opposite side, for the defense, we see a lot of people come in. They just added Jeremiah Martin to compete. Remember, and this is what I was saying about the difference in thinking between the people that's bringing talent to the team. Like we were mentioning the fact that the Saints added all these defensive players to their team. They added all these defensive players. They added Jonathan Bullard. They added Jeremiah Martin, right? They added Jaden Peavy. They added, who else they added to the team to try to improve the defense, right? They added, who else was it? Jonah Williams, Chris Rump II. You see, so they was just bringing people in big linemen for, up front and at the linebacker level. They just were adding people, so they didn't stop. So if Isaiah Foskey struggles, guess what? Isaiah Foskey in trouble if he struggles. And you see him trying to give Isaiah Foskey all the reps. Like last game, he played almost the entire game. Isaiah Foskey. Remember, I was pinpointing him on the call. I was like, man, Foskey just missed that tackle. So he's trying, and it's a sad thing because Foskey's in his third year here. He's in his third season here. And people, that's what I be saying about the fam. I'm like, fam, y'all right. To be like, man, Foskey this and Foskey that. But Foskey is what the Saints made him. He is. Foskey is what the Saints made him. He is underdeveloped. That is Dennis Allen. But that happened under several players that's affixed to the Saints. The Saints ain't doing with Isaiah Foskey that they're doing with Penning. Right? They didn't even do that with Pete Werner. I mean, not Pete Werner, with what's the guy? What's his name? Peyton Turner. Them names kind of rhyme. You got Peyton Turner and Pete Werner. You got they didn't do that with Peyton Turner, and they bend over backwards for Penning to find him a spot, move him over here, put him at the guard. They ain't do that shit for Peyton Turner. You see what I'm saying? But Isaiah Foskey is what the Saints made him. He's underdeveloped because they didn't make an emphasis to get him out there and do nothing with him. Now he falls further behind the curve because the defense is switching to something else. And you bring in players that know how to play that style of defense. And this guy, like, he played I think he played 34. At 34 defense at Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. But it must be a different form of defense because he ain't picking it up. So it's especially with Staley not like, I'm gonna give you an opportunity like Kellen Moore doing the backup ass offensive lineman that ain't doing shit on the offense. It's not the same energy. It's a heavy competition on that side of the football. I mean, for real. I mean, bringing in guys, Jonathan Bullard, and all these other guys. and they putting the pressure on other these like a Kalen Saunders and a Nate Shepard. You can't tell me some of these guys not feeling some of that pressure. Because Staley, like, I don't care. I want to win. We gonna have because the Saints, for them to have success, they got to run the ball. Number one, they got to run the ball. They got to play defense, take the ball away, and they got to hit field goals and pin people back on the special teams. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be good. You have to execute. So, I mean, but yeah, that's the it's a difference there. But they've done a wonderful job, man. Even when the Honey Badger retired, they immediately got in. I thought they was going to get Simmons. They went after Blackman, and all Blackman do is make plays. Yeah, 3 interceptions in that scrimmage. She was making interceptions all up in the practice. That kid could play, man. That Blackman kid could play. And he looked good. Justin Reed and Blackman looked good. So, yeah. And then, of course, we know that Alante is hurt. He's going to be out for a while, at least until the start of the regular season. But that gives other guys an opportunity. It gives Rico Payton an opportunity to step up and show what he can do. It gives the other guys opportunities. Dallas Beadham, Rejon Wright, Jaden Price. It gives guys like that opportunities to kind of step up. Ugo Amadi and all these other guys. It give them opportunities to be present. So we just want to see how that is. And of course, the punter, we got a battle in the special teams. You got James Burnup and Kai Kroger, a real good punter. Fam, it's been a real good punting battle between Burnap and Kai Kroger. Those guys have really been doing if y'all watched I know y'all did the first preseason game, Kyle Kroger and Burnap were punting really well. Burnap was doing a little bit better. But like I said, we knew that the last 2 Saints punters, the punt situation's been, when they brought in 3 punters, I knew the other guy was in trouble. But Burnap is the real deal. He's a solid punter. Kroger's a really good, not a really good punter, but these are good punters competing. They got a really good battle. And then, of course, the kick return game, we don't know what's going on there. We still watching to see who the returners are going to be. They got Rashid Shaheed and Dante Pettis there. Pettis didn't look good returning the ball. I see, didn't Fellas Jones Jr. have a return that he almost took? I don't know if that's Kendre Miller. But realistically, if I'm the New Orleans Saints, you don't want Kendre Miller returning no punts. I mean, you don't want your second best running back to get hurt on a punt return or a kick return. That'll be a bad look. Now you made your third running back do it, or even your 4th or 5th wide receiver. But no, we don't want Rashid Shaheed or Kendre Miller punt returning for us. No, unless you want a spark or something went on where they got to do it. That's one thing. But whoever these returners are, they got to be guys that's not tied to to the top 2 or even 3 positions of the wide receiver room or your running back room. They got to be the 3rd or 4th guy or 4th. You see what I'm saying? You don't want them guys. You don't want Kendre Miller or Rashid Shaheed returning no damn punts. No. Or kicks. No. Get somebody for do that because we need them guys in their areas because they're too important to the overall depth of the team to be hit or hurt in kick returner duty or punt returner duty. It won't. That'll be a bad look. Anyway, that's the preview right there, fam. I just wanted to brief y'all on that, man. But let's continue, man. Let's get into some questions, man, from the family members in the section below, man, and talk to the family about this, man. Shout out to y'all. Y'all do me a service. Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button and the sub button, man. It's Saturday night, and we are talking Saints football. We got a game tomorrow against the Jags, baby. We up in this thing. Shout out to you guys for being in the stream, man. Much love to the fam and everybody out there, man. It's always good to hear from the nation, man. Always good to hear from the nation. Let me give y'all a round of applause for being in this thing tonight, man. Much love to the fam. Much love to the fam. Much love to the fam. All right. All right. Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate y'all. All right. Let's keep it going, moving and grooving, man, in this thing in the stream, man. Let me see what we got here. Shout out to y'all, man. All right. I think I got a few questions I ain't want to miss over right here, man. Let me see if I can get this straight. There we go. Full screen for the fam. Questions. All right. All right. Shout out to you. All right. Mad Drummer says Q. Jedrick Willis, Dalton Richner, Cody Whitehair, Jack Driscoll, plus some are still available. Saints did bring in Cody Whitehair and Quisenberry. I forgot Quisenberry's first name, but they did bring him in for a look-see and tried him out, and then they end up signing Mike, the man, what's his name? Mike, man, I forget the man name. Mike Penasuik. I want to say the man's name is Mike Penasuik. They end up signing this gentleman here, right here. Let me see if I can get him on the screen. They signed this man over everybody else. He's has limited experience. I think he was with the Colts, but mostly on like a practice squad basis. But I was watching tape on this guy right here, and I like how he play, man. He mean on tape. And listen, it's even though he's a XFL and a UFL player, he's like one of the top players that they have in terms of winning awards and stuff like that. He excelled. And you watch the tape of this dude. This dude is a pretty interesting player. Like, I like his temperament, man. I think he's going to be a force with the Saints. I like him as a reserve, and it'll be interesting to see him and Torricelli Simpkins kind of duel it out at the center position, man, because he got the temperament. Pensacola cat, he has the temperament. I love how he plays. You know what I'm saying? Quavadia says Saints had penalties across the line in practice with the Rams. Got the clean. That's right. They had 7 penalties, bro. That's one of the, we talked about it. Like my pops. Shout out to my pops. But he was talking about it. He was like, yeah, son, the Saints couldn't run the ball that well. They were sloppy. They had several penalties and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, we want to dominate with the run, you know. Mad Drummer says Gerald Everett. Yep. The former Ram is still available. We need to look at him. Saints, we'll see, bro. Like I said, I thought Noah Fant would been a good addition for the Saints. I really did. I thought he would be a great addition for the Saints. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right. All right. Shout out to the fam. All right. All right. What's up, Trey? Shout out to my guy, Trey. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. Young Blood said, I think Clyde makes the team. Kellen Moore noted that he made the block that allowed Shuck to make the throw to Tipton. Indeed, I seen that on the film, bro. Brother Hakeem says Velas, I think, will replace Taysom this year. Unpopular opinion, but he's healthy and faster than Taysom at this point. Wishing Taysom the best, though. Indeed. Wouldn't it be cool, Brother Hakeem, if we had both of them? If we had both of those guys, and we had Taysom Hill later on, and we had Velas Jones Jr., the versatility is just unrelentless, man. We had it'd be ridiculous to have the versatility of both the healthy Taysom and the Velas Jones Jr., who literally said that he think he's the fastest player on the Saints team. And Rashid Shaheed looking like, what? What did you say? You know, that's like, dude, I'm like, man, that's crazy. For him to even say that, and Rashid Shaheed, like, what? You know, that's all it is. It's a footwork. So we can take it out, you know, but to have both of them there with blazing speed, and man, I just love that. That's big. All right, what's up, man? All right, what's up, JLJ? Benefit High presentations. Shout out to you, man. What's up, brother Anthony? How you doing, bro? Shout out to you. All right. Anyway, let's keep this thing moving along, man. All right, Falcon. Okay, yeah. Oh, Red Swarm is cool, man. Red Swarm is cool, man. Red Swarm. It's always cool to hear the Falcon. See, I don't be, you know, because of the family members, we got people listening all over the place. But the Falcon people come in, and, you know, it's always good because the Falcon people have not learned their lesson yet. The Falcon people still believe, family, that they've reached a level where they can start winning again. They haven't won in a while. And what permeated inside the mindset of the Falcon Nation is the fact that now they have this thing where they anticipate good things going bad for them. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, why I wear the score tee, you know, and all this kind of stuff. we've seen situations where the game is close and they about to win. They setting up to win the game, and then something happened in the psyche of the team and the support base, and they just go tumbling down. Until you fix that, we're gonna sit here and laugh at you the whole way. But we still care about you though. But get that together first. Rex says, "Q, what's your thoughts on new head coach and DC? You bold to say that he said you bold to say they chose correct, or you have to wait and see still." Thank you, Rex. Thoughts on the new head coach? I think Kellen Moore. Originally I wanted an offensive minded coach. Right when the search started, I didn't necessarily seen Kellen Moore as that guy. But over time, you give the person a chance, and you kind of listen to what they're saying. You see how they interact, and you see how they're trying to scope your team, and this type of stuff. So I have a very agreeable and positive opinion on Kellen Moore at this time. And of course, as he deals with certain challenges, with the team, it'll ultimately, change. But I think he got what it takes. I think if people like Kellen Moore, I mean, if you notice him answering questions from the media's not intimidated about him. He's very personable. He stands up there until he answers all questions. He does the same thing with his players. He answers all their questions. And he's a general. You can look at him, see he's a generally good dude. He's a family man. He's serious about football. He got a good temperament. He's very intelligent. So overall, I like Kellen Moore, what he represents right now. He talks about accountability. He assembled a pretty decent staff too. I think we headed in the right direction. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel like we're headed in the direction we're supposed to be going successfully. Now, how fast we get there will be determined on how fast our players pick up his system and what he's saying, and he may become a better teacher. But the defensive coordinator Staley is solid. He's a solid DC for him because 34 defense. He got the pieces in place, and I just think he's really up for the challenge. So a lot of these guys are, but I like the combination of Kellen Moore and Staley, along with the talent the Saints have here. I think they're headed in the right direction. I just put it to you like that. Thanks, Rex. Thanks for the question. All right. Heem HD says, Q, the Saints are going to be okay in 2 years. They'll be in the Super Bowl in 2028, but the Panthers go before us. It'll be a loss 2027, but the Saints will win theirs in 2028 from the video I watched today. Okay, that's very interesting, bro. All right. You think the Carolina Panthers is going to win the Super Bowl before us? Very interesting, my friend. Very interesting. That the Carolina Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl for us. Man, let me tell you, bro, that's kind of, I don't know, man. That'll make Dave and Shad happy, though, if you tell them that you believe that. They'll love that shit. What's up, brother? Adrian says, Q, whoever Kellen Moore decides is going to be the QB1. I don't need to just manage the game. They have to throw the ball. Yes, indeed. No, you're right. And both of them can do that, right? All right, brother Bonds, they can both do that. Kellen can sling it. Tyler can sling it. I mean, and that's the thing about Tyler. He's 6'5". That's the thing about his presence. Like when he got in the game, like you watch the tape, because at first you watch the game and you see he did all right, but when you go back and watch the tape, you can get more of an appreciation for what Tyler Shuck did in the time that he played in that first preseason game. I was very pleased with the tape with Tyler Shuck. I didn't like the pick six, and he had a few other little problems when he held the ball too long and the guy sacked him, that type of thing. But you give him grace on that because he's a rookie. Spencer Rattler, not so much. I didn't like how the tape looked on Spencer. We went back and looked it up on Patreon. There were at least 2 or 3 throws that Spencer should have made. Like he had 2 throws that were 2 incompletions back to back in the game. And both of those were throws that he should have made. Now, like I was saying during the Patreon, and y'all can check that out, but those throws he should have made. The one toward the sideline, and then the next time he came back to Pettis, he threw the ball behind Pettis. Pettis adjusted And he threw the ball behind Pettis. It almost was pipped, kind of off his hands and almost got picked. But he has to make those throws. If you're a starting NFL quarterback, Spencer Rattler has to make those throws. The tight one between the sideline to get the first down and the throw to the wide receiver to pick up the first down again, to keep the drive going. He has to make those throws. But yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, shout out to the fam. Jay Huntsberry, what's up, Jay? Say it's Pete. Yeah, he on the Steelers. The Steelers signed him. Steelers picked up Andrews Pete, bro. Young Buster's Q, what do you know about this UFL All-Star Center? Yeah, I just talked about him. Thanks, bro, for answering. Brother Hakeem says Steelers will have our defense playing all 17 games. Just have to face the reality in 2025 that Saints may be a 5-12 team. 5-12 again. That won't be good. All right, thank you, Hakeem. Rex says Q, the problem with our small Houston all the Smurfs wide receivers we have is the red zone. Yes, indeed. That's the problem is the red zone. So how do we kind of do that? Do we then putting Jawan Johnson in there with the track team? Yeah, that's true. When you get down to the red zone, it is an issue. We're seeing that right now to a degree where the Saints, where I had an opportunity to get into the red zone. They were 0-2 in the red zone, by the way, and didn't come out with nothing. The Chargers basically gave the Saints a gimme in the first game when the guy muffed the punt, and the Saints recovered it inside the 20-yard line in their red zone, and Spencer Rattler couldn't get him in a touchdown. You got to get that touchdown, so that didn't look good. What's up, Cartel? Shout out to you. Yeah, that's why I thought that Noah Fant made a lot of sense, fam. That's what I thought. I thought Noah Fant made a lot of sense. He's 6'5", Juwan 6'3". I mean, that's what I thought. But do they have a red zone package where they're going to put guys in down there? I got Matavo 6'7". Matavo's he might be 6'8". I remember saying that can't be right. I think Matavo, the 7th-round draft pick, he's about 6'7". I want to say, let me look up Matavo right quick. Because I could have swore he was like 6'7". Something had, I think I seen something had him at 6'8". Yeah. Look at this, fam. This is your rookie tight end, Matavo from out of UCLA, 6'8". There go your red zone guy. 6'8", 263 pounds, Matavo. This your red zone guy right here. But does he make the team? Because he hadn't stepped up or stood out yet. But Matavo, that's your red zone guy right there. Yeah, that'll be awesome, man. We can get them together. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going, man. Shout out to you. What's up, Cartel? Shout out to Cartel as well. Good to see you. All right. Jeffrey, what's up, bro? Says no trade. No, I don't think so, bro. I just seen a report says he's hurt. No Travis Hunter tomorrow, bro. What's up, Slim? He says should have cut Hayner and signed Teddy Bridgewater. Nah, they ain't going to do that, bro. Hayner's here until he's not, bro. All right. Yeah. Hakeem says, yeah, Fred Taylor, Maurice Jones-Drew era, they were solid. Yes, indeed. That's right. The era after Fred Taylor. Yeah, Fred Taylor. The era after, because Maurice Jones-Drew was another era of Jaguar football. Who was the quarterback during that time? Do y'all remember when Maurice Jones-Drew was running the team? Who was the quarterback there during that time? Because I remember Mark Brunell. Who was the quarterback when Maurice Jones-Drew was doing it? And they had Maurice Jones-Drew. They had who was that fantastic? Keenan McCardle. They had Keenan McCardle, Jimmy Smith. They had a really good tight end that was there too. Who was the tight end there? They had a good tight end. I can't remember. But who was the quarterback? Byron Leftwich? Was it Leftwich? That's right, Leftwich. Yeah, the Jag was running stuff, man. Jaguars had a little flavor with them then, but now they back to zero again. I think that's ownership might be the problem. Yeah, 504 says Cam Akers looks a little washed, too many injuries. Yeah, he don't look good. Don, what's up? Don says sign Justin Ross. They had him here for a look-see, brother Don. They had him here, 6'4" wide receiver. They said no, you're too tall for the team. We got a height limit. You got to be 6'2" and under to be on the Saints football team as a wide receiver. I don't know what they got going on with that. What's up, King Eternal? Yeah, he says Foskey's going to Chicago. I don't know, bro. I don't know. What's up, Jay Black? Says Big Q, the snowman is melting. Yeah. he said Foskey be tiptoeing through the tulips. Yeah, I said about Alex Anzalone. Man, y'all got good memories, excellent memories. Yeah. Chase says, "What's up, Chase?" He says, "Saints defense is good." Yeah, I like the defense. Defense been dominating, fam. They've been dominating in camp. They've been dominating in camp. OG says Amtrak business open. Foskey could take a trip from New Orleans to Chicago, Mobile out of here. That's right. That's right, OG. Put them on the train to nowhere, baby. What's up, Linda? Said kickers are the best players on the team. No confidence for the defense. Thank you, Linda. Shout out to you. All right. Cartel says, yeah, we definitely need remove any of our starters. But see, that's the point, though. I'm not, and people mistake. They're thinking, the Q don't get mad. I'm like, what are you talking about? Get mad? I don't get mad. That's how I talk. Like, y'all know I get. What can I tell you? I'm rough at times. I'm gentle and stern on my. I'm that's what kind of guy y'all been listening to me for years. Y'all know when I'm mad. Like when I get mad, when I say, okay, the Saints got 20 million damn dollars, you go get attacked. That's not me getting mad. I'm saying factual stuff that people agree to. That ain't no need for us to cross-train Dylan Redunce at blindside tackle, not at the right tackle, but blindside tackle. He never did it before. There's no need to do Dylan Redunce that if you need him to be guard, because I'm not totally sold on Penning. Penning hadn't played not one apricot game in a regular season at guard to see what he looks like. He's been doing all right at the guard position in practice. He did all right in the first game, but there was times when Penning was up too high and got pushed into the quarterback. So I'm not all sold in on Penning. He's doing all right, but he got to do that over a full season. But people gonna key in on Penning because Penning still needs to fix his technique. He's still blocking too high. Well, he don't have to fix it now because he hurt. But when he get back, he still has to handle business. I'm just saying. Dylan Redunce has played, I think he played like 50 games at the guard position, something like that. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up, but I know he's been in the game about 2 or 3 years, maybe. Let me see. Let me pull up Redunce. But he's a guy that been in the NFL. I think it's his 5th year because he was with Tennessee before us. But it's a guy that played a lot of games, like at least 30 games of the NFL experience. Yeah, he's been 27 years of age. This guy's been in the league, with the Titans. He's 6'6", 301. He's a big guard, but he played the guard position the majority of the time here. We don't need Dylan Redunce to be a blindside tackle. Just go and get one. You got $20 million available to you. And people thought, I'm like, you don't get mad. Why you get mad? We be rebuilding. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Number one, that's not me getting mad. Number two, it's common sense. I say stuff that's commonsensical. I just got my own little way of doing it. You don't make, if you cross-training people, it's, you might be working with $2 million. Let's say you're working with, we've seen that before. We working with $2 million. You're working with $2 million. And we hold on, Q, we can't afford to be doing all that. So we got to be really judicious in the way we use our money. Okay. All right. I got you. I hear you play ball. We'll do that. We'll be kind of on the consistent and do all that. But you sit up here with $20 million talking about cross-training a guy that never played the tackle position at blindside enough to tear your quarterback up. You put him in there. The guy ran around him. All he was a 6'6", 300-pound, one of them spinning doors that you see at the hotel. That's all that man was. He spun that man around and went in there and punched the ball out of Spencer Rattler's hand. Hold on. Revolving. Hold on, fam. Revolving. That was one of them revolving hotel doors that you see at the old ass hotels. That's all he did. And then they blame Spencer Rattler for it. See, what you see, Spencer, you messed up. What? Well, you should have seen it. No. What are you talking about, bro? Hold on, fam. Y'all know I gotta Show y'all one of these damn doors. You know, I had to find one for y'all. Because that's all Dylan Redunce was. They put his ass, this pretty much what it was. He put him in there. That's what he did. That's what he did him. That's pretty much what he did him. That's what did that. Just that's what it was. He wanted these damn doors. He wanted these a revolving door. And then the next thing you know, they blame Spencer Rattler. What you thought? Hey man, the dude was looking to make a throw, bro. I mean, he was looking down here to make the throw. The next thing you know, the guy come through. Well, what could you do to like, bro? And the man, good. Listen, Spencer Rattler said, "Hey man, that's on me." He did with a quarter. And that was Derek Carr. Derek Carr, well, he would have put it all on Dylan Redunce. He'd have put it, oh, well, see, man, them offensive linemen, because, you know, Carr is all about Carr. He'd have blamed it on the offensive lineman and kept it pushing. That's your damn fault. But Spencer, he ain't that guy. He the quarterback. He said, man, listen, I got to hey, listen, that's on me. I got to hold the ball stronger, and I got to, you know, make up my mind a little quicker. But he revolved in dough, that guy, man. Y'all know that. It's just what it is. All right. Cartel says, Q, what are your expectations tomorrow from Tyler Shuck? I think Tyler gonna do all right, bro. Tyler's gonna do all right out there. I think he's gonna be fine. The thing, like I said, he has a presence with him. It's like he's a tall quarterback. Like you can, he has pocket. He got a command to him, a respect to him, and he stands tall in the pocket and he delivers the ball with some force. I like how he delivered that ball. I like he comes like he'll see something, he'll pull that ball down, he'll try to run with it. He got a little strength. He was able to rip away on one of them draw. You know, guy got him around his neck and he still was able to make, you know, come out of it. So I like Tyler Shucks in the pocket, what he doing. I want to see, now y'all probably noticed this, like with the Saints, like the majority of his reps was out of the shotgun. He didn't take too many. I think it was like 2 or maybe 3 where he was under center. You know, what does he look like drawing from the center and stepping back into, you see what I'm saying? You know, what does he look outside of the shotgun? You know, can he run, you know, do all of that? And that's what I want to see a little bit more from him. All right. How you doing? What's up, Mills? Mills 132. What's up, brother? How you doing? King Eternal said, I believe Rattler is being used as a shield for Tyler Shuck. What do you think, Q? Rattler is not, and I've been saying it for a while, fam. I've been saying it for a while. The reality is this is the team is going to be Tyler Shuck's team. Maybe not this year, but let's say Spencer wins the job. That's the easy part. Like Q, what you talking about, Q? That's the easy part. What you talking about, Q? It's the easy part. It's the easy part for Tyler to win the job, because the hard part would be to hold on to it. He can win it in day one, but then because Kellen Moore gonna see it as okay, Spencer won the job, but that ain't the end of Tyler Shuck. The moment Spencer Rattler struggles, his offense can't move. He threw a couple of interceptions. He had a bunch of turnovers. The Saints, it's Tyler Shuck running up in there. He running up in there. Now, the thing about it is, if Tyler struggles, the Saints are going to keep Tyler in there because he's a rookie, and the fact that he's the hand-picked guy that Kellen Moore spent his draft pick on. That's the quarterback he sees, as long as he's the head coach to guide his team forward, is Tyler Shuck. I don't think, even if the Saints are unfortunate enough to win, or they, like some of the detractors say, or the commenters say, the Saints only going to win 3 games this year. Even if the Saints only win 3 games this year, they're not going to be in the draft talking about getting Nussmeier's son. It's not going to be that kind of party. They're not going to do that, because that just will spit in the face of logic. They're not going to do that. Tyler Shuck is the guy. I don't care if Archie Manning's son is there. His grandson is there. It's not going to be the same thing. If Arch Manning comes out next year, which he won't, I think they said that he's going to play next year. I think he'll finish out his schooling because ain't no need for him to go nowhere. They rich and he got a big MIL deal. So we run into. That's what I was saying about the Manners. The Manners, they believe in finishing school. They're not gonna come out early. They don't do that. Anyway, I think Tyler Shuck ultimately going to get the job. Spencer Rattler, the easy part of it is Spencer outplaying Tyler Shuck and getting the start of the season. The tough part of it is being him maintaining that level of play to keep Shuck off him, because the moment he gets named the starting quarterback for week 1, he's only a bad game away from Tyler Shuck seeing action. They will not be as patient with Spencer Rattler as they will be with Tyler Shuck. Why? Because that's Kellen's guy. That's truth. So it is. And plus, if Spencer wins, and I don't want him to fail, but if Spencer wins and fails and falls, it's justification to bring Shuck in. So it quiets down the Rattler folks. You see what I'm saying? Because even I seen it in some of the comment section when I was doing the play-by-play on the week 1 preseason game. Man, the people was, go back and look at it. The people was like, man, Q, I haven't seen enough of Rattler. Can we put Shuck in? And I was like, these is like people that like Rattler. Like, hey, Q, I seen enough. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I made sure I highlighted y'all ass too on there. I just want to let y'all know I highlighted the piss out of y'all on there. I seen what y'all was doing. Cartel 62, do you know if they'll have Devin Neal on the game roster? No, he won't be on the roster. The active roster, he won't be on there tomorrow, bro. He's still hurt. English says, Q, are there any holdovers from Possum staff left in the building? You talking about players? They got holdovers from the coaching staff and players on the team from his holdovers. You mean players and coaches? Yeah, they got some people left. You know, that was on Dennis Allen last year. The wide receiver, Coach Williams, he was on the staff with Dennis Allen last year. So they got a couple of people that were here. Jari Evans was on the staff, so they got a few people that were here that was a part of the staff that's here. Phil Galliano was on the staff last year. He's a special teams coach now. So I guess if you kind of, who are you referencing? You talking about coaches or players? Let me know. All right. Muse says, I want to see Sean Payton get crushed under Kellen's feet as though yeah, that's the final preseason game. It'll be cool. All right. 506Q. We need another wide receiver. Olavi is fragile and Shaheed is too explosive. They both will miss at least 4 to 6 games. Okay, Olavi's not fragile, bro. Olavi's not fragile. Olavi I don't know how to explain this. Okay, I'll do it like this. Nick Seldeveri is fragile. Okay? Nick Seldeveri is fragile. Okay? All right, we got that? Nick Seldeveri is fragile. And that's fragile. That other guy is getting hit in his helmet. Guys are hitting you in your helmet. I don't know how you protect yourself from that. Now, he said we covered this on Patreon. He was going to wear the best helmet that's good at reducing the numbers in terms of reducing concussions, this certain helmet that he said he was going to wear. There's also the Guardian cap, but it's a different version that you use in the regular season that you can have on your helmet. So he said he was going to wear the helmet, but not the Guardian cap. If I'm Chris Olave, I'm putting all that shit on top of that. I'm putting 2 Guardian hats on top of the concussion type helmet, the top one. You know, they all have a different grade. This one he said he's going to start wearing is one of the best ones in terms of reducing the impact. But if Chris Olave wants to make his money, he needs to have extra protection. You can't play around no more because you got a guy that had 5 or 6 concussions, not even adding up the ones you had at college, bro. The brain will say when you get to the NFL, you know what? we had 2 concussions or whatever it was in college. Now that you're in the pros, you have 4 or 5 of them. We don't count them once you get to the pros. No, they all count. So it ain't like you should play around with that. You need to put that shit on top of your head, bro. That's what you need to do, bro. Serious. Not just for the money aspect, just for to keep your mind, bro. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. It's like with people hitting you in your head, how do you defend against that? It's not like you just a guy like with Kendra Miller or Nick Saldiveri who can't stay healthy. He got a myriad of different injuries. He hurt every year. All this kind of stuff. That guy has a large level of fragility. He's very fragile in football talk. He gets hurt all the time. He can't be counted on it. Chris Olave performs. He just keeps getting hit in the helmet, and he has to protect himself against that. That's how I see the difference in here. Now, in terms of Shaheed has dealt with injuries too. But the thing about Rashid Shaheed is that I would not use Rashid Shaheed and run him into traffic. You see what I'm saying? That's why you need a big physical wide receiver that can do that. I remember MVS got hurt several times last year because they was running him into traffic. Now, MVS is a tall wide receiver. He ain't girthy and big guy. He ain't a big muscular guy. He's a tall, tall, long wide receiver. And when they sent him inside, they got guys crack his ass up. But you need physical, tough guys that can deal with that kind of work. I would not. It's how you use these guys. Like I wouldn't run Rashid Shaheed or Chris Olave in there. I just wouldn't. Every now and again you sneak him in there or whatever. But Rashid Shaheed should be simply be used if you got end arounds and stuff like that because his speed to crack the edges and get north to south is fast because very few people can match him. Or it's just the guy that I constantly just use for deep routes, for him to be able to get upfield to take the top off of defenses to make life easier. But running them in between in the trees and where the wolves lurk at, you asking for trouble. So now I would that's what you need, the big physical possession guys. They're going that way. They're going that in the woods. But we'll see, man. But yeah, I think we headed in the right direction though, bro. We gonna be all right. All right, Social 323 says Q, the way Stetson Bennett just look, we might need to send something LA way to get him on the roster. All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate the comment. Hemisphere says Q, I hope they gave Rattler some goal line work. He needs to be better in the red zone. To say yes, he does, bro. There was a one where he could have had a touchdown. I think he was looking to throw. He was in the red zone and he was looking to throw, and then at the last moment he kind of tucked the ball, but instead of taking an angle, I think that if he would have angled it like toward, kind of cut it toward the left, he might be able to beat the defender on the angle as opposed to taking him straight up, head to head. If he would have, because I think he have enough speed to dart off to the angle. I thought he would have had a touchdown running the ball in, but yeah, he got to do better on that, bro. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, indeed, bro. Yeah, indeed. All right, let me get down. Jason says I was a serious Rattler supporter, but Tyler did play better, but I do feel like he had better opportunities either way. He says, yeah, I'm a Saints fan. I want the QB to win. Yeah, and it's all right, because we want the best quarterback. I think both of these guys are good quarterbacks. I think Spencer Rattler is ready to go now, but man, Tyler Shuck is standing tall in the pocket. He making decisions, but he doing a lot of his shit was did from the shotgun, right? They giving him the shotgun, which is buying him time to scan the field, right? But how does Tyler Shuck look from up under the pocket? He had a few snaps here or there. I want to see him kind of operate, a balanced system, because not all this stuff is going to be from out of the shotgun. But he did look good when he was out there. Bobbin says, Q, who set the mayor of New Orleans up to get indicted? Whoever. Yeah. In Shreveport. All right. Shout out to you, Bobbin. Yeah, I've heard about that, man. I'm going to start doing, I've been working on that, fam. I've been kind of see about it, but people been sending me, videos and kind of, asking me to do these trending topic shows, man. I used to talk about it on Patreon, but yeah, I think I'm probably going to get back to it. It's a lot of stuff they want me to react to, the Omar Johnson school thing. I've been with Omar Johnson with the school thing he's been doing for like what? Since 2010. really before that, because I remember videos with him talking about that when he would go and film, he would just show up. This dude would just show up at some school somewhere with no real estate agent, no nothing, saying we trying to buy this school, we need this amount of money. And I'm like, what? But it spoke about the hearts and to a degree the naivete and the gullibility of people. And like when I started hearing all this other stuff years later, all of the excuses, nothing, never his fault. It's this person's fault, that person. I said, this guy's a charlatan, man. This guy's a charlatan, man. He a history pimp. He a history pimp. He used history in a way to make a name, and then on the back end, help me do this to help you. And I'm like, man, you see him a dime a dozen. You go back in history, you can look a lot of them people up. I remember what they had a bunch of these old type of peoples that had this type of thing. This is an old thing that keep repeating itself. You just got to know history. But yeah, it's this. But all these excuses, but never, this dude never showed any evidence of anything that he said happened. It's always word of mouth. And it was really crazy why nobody never asked the guy for, where's your proof, man? What proof do you have? You blaming this, blaming that. No proof, nothing. Just a bunch of random crazy lies. Now, like this dude is mentally ill, man. This dude is mentally ill, man. But it take a while for people to get it. Some people never get it. But yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. But that whole thing, the indictment down there with Herb, and I never seen that before them. And they were usually waiting until you get out to indict you. So I don't know what's going on. It's a political thing. A lot, if you go and look across the country, span it, a lot of Democrat people getting their issue right now. And that's because the other team is in power right now. The other team is power. That's how it go. You know, the other team is in power right now. The people that was talking all their mess and acting that way, they're getting at them. So whatever going on, it's always something like that, man. You know, so it's unfortunate, man. But I was reading some of the stuff talking about she was concealing a relationship with the dude. I'm like, wow, man. But that go to show you, man, that power and money brings out the true character of who you are. That's why people saying, I think people started off with good intentions. That's bullshit. If you get a little money or a lot of money and they turn you into a crook or one of these sneaky people, that's what you always been. You don't just become that because money added to it, or you just turn bad. No, it don't work like you always been bad. And the money just magnified that quality about you. That's the guy. That's the guy I don't buy that other stuff. Oh, you had the good intentions. What's that old saying about intentions? Good intentions. That it paved your path to hell. That's what they say. That's the saying, ain't it? Dr. Gray, Dr. Keith. What's that old saying about intentions? Don't it say it paved your path? Your how's it put? Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I think it says it paved your pathway to hell or something to that degree. Good intentions. These guys that's doing this stuff, like Akon, the same dude did Akon. Just say he was starting this Wakanda type city, and then they just had the report that said that they took the land from him, and he over here talking about that's not true. That's not true. These people con people, man. These are liars and crooks. It's just amazing, man. It's amazing. All right, Brother Bond said, I thought the offensive line was supposed to be nasty. That's the temperament that I would love to see. All right. Q, another JLJ says, Q, do we have enough depth at the offense? I know. I will say no, sir. I will say no, we do not. All right, J Black says, I want Rattler and Shuck both. Yes, indeed, bro. I'm with you on that, bro. I want to see both of them young men do good, bro, because that's our quarterbacks. That's our guys, man. So if they both battling, they both good. If somebody get hurt, the next guy can step in and keep this thing moving along. Mad Drummer says Arch until 2027. I kind of felt that way. Jay Black says Willie Green needs to be on the practice squad. Willie Green needs to be fired. You gonna get that? You seen that schedule, Jay Black? It ain't nothing nice. All right, English said, yeah, I mean coaches. Yeah, that's the few. Hemisphere says Q Olave is one more concussion. Bro, I hate to say it, man. That's why I said, man, I was take the helmet that he had and put the Guardian cap on it and then put another one on top of that. You can't afford to have any more issues. And plus, if you have that again, that messes up your money because it makes it an easy choice because you got Rashid Shaheed. I think Rashid's money is after this year, and Olave has 2 years remaining. If I'm not mistaken, Rashid Shaheed has 1 year, Chris has 2. So, and I think in Chris's second year, his money goes up to like 15 and a half. Rashid Shaheed, so it's a decision. Like if the Saints wanted to draft another wide receiver or just pay Rashid Shaheed, I think Rashid's a little older. I think Rashid Shaheed's older than him. Hold on, let me do something, fam. Let me pull this shit up right quick. Because I know Rashid Shaheed, he got 1 more year left on his contract. Rashid's 26. And most people say, Q, I like Rashid better. I get you. He's a speedster. But he hadn't done more in terms of being an NFL wide receiver than Chris Olave. Chris Olave is, hold on, let me see. Yeah. There you go. Damn dough returning. Dough spinning, y'all. All right, here's Chris. Chris is 25, Rashid's 26. But Chris Olave is a big time receiver. But if the injuries happen, it could end up forcing Chris Olave out and making it an easy decision. Guy like Rashid Shaheed, because a lot of people believe Rashid's time that he's ready to break out. That he's ready to break out and be the guy. Yeah, so yeah, Rashid's 26, Chris is 25. They're a fantastic tandem, but Rashid got 1 year remaining on his deal. So, very interesting, man, to see how the Saints are going to handle that situation. Yeah, it's tough. Mad Drum says, Q, what do you think about bringing in OBJ? Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. I'm against that, bro. Brother Don said, who do you think tomorrow decides the competition? I think they'll probably, if Tyler Shuck kind of repeats his performance from the first week, bro, that kind of moves things along. But I've been thinking about it, bro. It's like, man, listen, even if Spencer Rattler like I said earlier, if Spencer Rattler wins the job, because he might win the job. If Tyler Shuck is not ready to start the season, that's not a bad thing, because he's a rookie. But if you're Kellen Moore, how would you I ain't gonna say if I wanted it, I want to frame the words a certain kind of way. We already know Tyler Shuck is Kellen Moore's quarterback. We already know that, right? We know he picked him with the 2nd round pick. So if he's not ready to start, that's not necessarily a bad thing for Tyler Shuck or Kellen Moore. But how does he then come back to getting the starting job? Through Spencer Rattler. Spencer starts and struggles, then Shuck comes in. Now, it's a different effect if Shuck starts the season and struggles and Spencer comes in. You get what I'm saying? It's a whole different dynamic. I was like, that's interesting. Because we've seen this happen before. Like the guy picked to be the quarterback, but it's really Shuck is a 2nd round quarterback. It'll be something if he was a top 10 quarterback, like the Saints took him with a 1st round draft pick. Then you instantaneously think, hey man, why this guy ain't in there? Why a 5th round quarterback, is starting over him? But no, the thing is, if Spencer starts the season and struggles, and it can be 2 interception game, they're not moving, right? Sooner or later, Tyler Shuck gonna get in that game. But the dynamic works differently if Shuck arrives, if Rattler struggles, versus the opposite effect. You see what I'm saying? Because it's just a different dynamic altogether. It's a different effect altogether. So I don't think, Spencer could start the season. But like I said, I think that's the easiest part of it. Because if Spencer wins the starting job, that's the easiest part of it. The tough part of it is him holding on to it with Tyler Shuck over there, waiting for him to make a mistake. I've been there like, man, that's an accomplishment. But at the end of the day, you got to hold on to it. You got to play to keep Shucker on the bench. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think but Brother Don, I think they'll take all 3 games to figure this out. But you'll see more of those quarterbacks. You won't see as much as Haener. We don't need to see Haener no more, right? We need to see who these guys are. Unless if the Saints start playing Haener a lot in the 3rd game, they already made the decision on who the quarterback going to be. You can base it on how they handle Haener, right? All right. So anyway, also Q, you right about a lot. Maybe thinking about a concussion standpoint. Indeed, bro. The money coming. You got 2 years remaining on his contract. He gotta protect his helmet. You know, he gotta put that guardian on there, man. He don't have no choice. You gotta do it. All right. Both King Returnal says both Rattler played against Bucks last. They did pretty good. The run defense let us down. Thank you, bro. What's up, brother Reginald? Shout out to you, man. All right, good to see you. All right, yeah, Shuck starts tomorrow. He starts tomorrow. But even if, like I said, even if Spencer would have balled out and had a big performance, it still was going to start Shuck because they won't see what he do, how he plays behind the ones. Reginald says, keep on him. He says, keep on him, y'all. There y'all go. There y'all go with that. What's up, Abby? How you doing? My brother says Omar Johnson, aka the Prince of Pancake. Yeah, bro. I mean, man, I was in my head. I was like, man, why do people not see this stuff? Number one, you can't just have a school and say this school is only for white people to come here. Isn't there God damn. I'm like, what? That's a law about it. You can get sued behind that. I mean, it's the simple stuff. Like, you don't have a website with a counter on it, how much you took. You don't have a breakdown, itemized the bills. You have several times that you broke release dates. Your fundraising method is laughable. I mean, where's the business plan for people to view online? None of that is available. And people now starting to say, oh, he's a scammer. Well, he didn't do anything that the people come and collect all this money. They don't have no business plan. They don't have no website. They don't have a counter of how much money they didn't add it. They don't have a weekly tally to explain to you what they're doing. This dude to pop up. We just put some doors on here. The walls, the glass is still boarded up. People asking them about questions about, this dude got major transparency issues. He gets mad at people when they ask him where the money at. Well, you just saying that because you're not a donor. Red flag. Come on, peoples. Come on. The dude is a history pimp. I mean, that's what I'm like, dude, the dude's a history pimp. He pimping history. He just roll around and collects monies to talk about help. Where's the children that you helped? Where are the people the children that you said you helped? Where are they? Where are their testimonies at? You don't hear none of that. Man, the guy don't even have a website, man. I'm like, dude, no, man wasn't serious about it. It was all a hustle. He bought the building so he can keep hustling. But the thing is, I thought black people would take it to him. I thought black people put hands and feet on him. That's what I thought. I thought a lot of them brothers would took it to Umar Johnson. That's what I thought. Because usually that's what you're supposed to do when you got somebody doing you like that. You gotta teach them not to play with you. But I was wrong. I thought that they shaking his hand there. People must like it. I don't know. It's crazy. All right. Anyway, thanks, you Muse. Shout out to Muse. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, so he can run. He's just like dual citizenship. He got citizenship in Africa. He can go run over there anytime he's ready. I mean, man, this stuff ain't hard to figure out, man. This really ain't, fam. Sorry, fam, turn my AC down. This stuff ain't really hard to figure out, man. These people starting to get it now. I'm like, man, y'all, this stuff ain't hard to figure out, fam. They used to have what they call back in the day a bunco squad. They used to have bunco squads that go picked up these type of people running around with scammy behavior, lying about who they are. You got a dozen, aliases, changing the name of the school different times, It's just, man, it's too much, man. Would contradict himself with it's just so ridiculous. But this is the type of stuff people will want me to react to, and I'm like, man, to me, it's just commonsensical, man. I don't know. All right, Hemisphere says Q. There's a lot of preachers preaching that he needs to get from the pulpit. Yeah, stealing from the people. Why going to church isn't much of a thing. Yeah, I've heard that. Seen somebody sent me a report on that about the church. People ain't going to the church no more. I heard about that too, fam. What's up, King Chosen One? What's happening, fam? English says sometimes I wonder if Carr was being paid bounty money on how many of our receivers he could get hurt with hospital balls. Yeah, he was wrong for that. Hemisphere says Q. Only spiritual advice I would give someone is start reading the Bible, let it lead, guide, and direct your path. You can't go wrong. That's a good sentiment, bro. Yeah, develop your relationship with the Most High. You don't need an intermediary to talk to the Most High. You don't need an intermediary or an ambassador to talk to the Most High. Each and every person on this planet is their own separate, unique entity. Even if you have twins, there's not one person the same. Everybody is its own separate, unique entity. Every person. So with that, you have your own unique relationship with the Creator. Not two the same. This is the thing. Because it has to be that way because you are your own being. It's not some uniform thing. Everybody has a personal, sensitive relationship that's different with the Creator. That's up to you to develop that. And you don't have to have a degree to do that. You just get into a quiet space and talk to the Most High. Have a discussion, a talk. Rex says Greg Cosell called the Titans games and said that Redunce isn't an NFL caliber player. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting, bro. But Saints got him at left guard, so we'll see what they got to say. That's a lot right there. Byron says, Q, my opinion, I got Shuck named the starter because he don't have Rattler as QB1. He got to play a lot better than regarding his mistakes. Can't make the turnovers or hold the ball long. Head coach Moore chose his QB instead. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, brother Byron. Shout out to you, bro. We'll see, bro. Brother Rowe, what's up, bro? Say, I don't know why people say the money is the root of all evil. We need money to do what we need. No, he said the when money is not evil, it's people's greed. Well, no, it's the love of money. Rowe, you're right, bro. Whoever telling you that they're not putting the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil, my brother, not money. Money just a tool, like a hammer or nails or anything like that. It's just a tool. But the love of it is what they consider the root of all evil. When most people consider the love of money. That's the thing, the love of it. Powerful Coach says, Q, the whole Africa thing is a scam. We're here before slavery. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, a guy out of the University of Chicago. This is a very well-known fact. African American Studies, created by a guy at the University of Chicago, came up with a lot of this stuff that wasn't true. Do your research on it. They had a guy who wrote several books on that topic about that, who created African American Studies, and a bunch of stuff just wasn't true. English says, Q, what time you going on live tomorrow? It'll be around noon, bro. Farouk, what's up, bro? Shout out to you. J Black says, maximum security prison freedom is what is needed. Indeed, bro. Thank you, bro. J Black. Shout out to you. Yeah, it's tomorrow, man. But listen, man, it's going to be interesting, bro, to be honest with you, with this whole Tyler Shuck thing and Spencer Rattler. It'll go down to the last preseason game. And we're going to just have to see how it plays out, man. But I just really think that we win regardless of who the quarterback is. I think both of these young quarterbacks have the it factor. I think both of these guys are good. I think they're both accountable. They're going to play hard for you. They're going to make it right. But the things around them, like we have to be able to make sure our offensive line, because I have really concerns with our line. A lot of concerns with our backups. Backups at the tight end position, backups with the wide receiver, and backup on not even the starters. It's just the depth in the offense. I'm not even concerned about the defense, to be honest with you. I think the defense will be fine. I'm not even that concerned about the special teams, even though I like the punter battle. We need to find out who the returners are. But the offense, which drives the thing, Like I have concerns, depth concerns. It's not even the starters. It's the depth of the wide receivers, the tight ends, and the offensive line. That's why my concerns reside at. And maybe the Saints appease those things as we get closer and closer before the regular season. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. All right. Yes. JLJ says money is the root of all power. That's Rabbi Daniel Lappin. All right. Thank you, bro. The money is the root of all power. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you say capital. Yeah. Money runs a lot. The world's basically driven on it. You need money to pay your bills. So you need money to pay for food. You need money to, to live, right? Can't go in the store and say, hey, man, let me borrow this out there. Now you go to jail. Then you would need money to bail out. So, yeah, man, it's that money. You need money to live, All right. MJR TV says, what y'all think about these New Orleans Saints analysis? What do you think about these New Orleans Saints analysis? I don't get what you're saying, bro. He says they lie about what's going on in camp. I don't know who you're talking about, bro. All right, Hemisphere says, tell us about the QB is going to tomorrow. Will tell us about the QB taking a step. Yeah, okay, I got you, bro. Yeah, we got 2 weeks left. 2 weeks of play action of preseason football to see if the Saints can get the offense together, to see if we can decide on who gets us closer. But me personally, man, I think we'll be all right with a lot of this with the starters. But like I said, Kellen Moore has to at some point learn, man, exactly what's going on with the team. We shall see, man, with the backups and the offensive line. I don't know, man. We'll see. All right. Yeah, and Muse says, and money for commiserated to barter favors. Indeed. Yeah, money, it drives us all. Yeah, indeed. It drives everything. So the love of it is what like my mother taught me about, the love of money is the root of all evil. Some people think that, but like I said, that's the thing that most people struggle with, like understanding these principles. But if you're a good person, man, and you centered in your being, then getting money, or if you get a position of influence or power, you won't turn into this evil, demonic person that's messing over people and doing all this other stuff. Nah, that's what you've been doing that. You've been that kind of person on the inside if that happens. And I don't buy the intentions thing. I don't believe in that intention thing. Well, if you started off with good intentions, man, get out of here with that, man. I don't buy that attention crap, man. I don't buy it at all. Money is not going to make your intentions go bad if you're a good person. Your morals and scruples outrank you with your money, because if you didn't have morals and scruples, then you would do everything like some of these other people doing. That's doing all this stuff to get close to these clowns like this P. Diddy idiot and all these women doing all this old stuff. Because if you're like, why are you doing all that? Because they wanted to go to the islands. They won't go rub elbows with the celebrities and all this nastiness and this degeneracy. So some people will sell their soul and every other thing just to be in circles with certain people or to have a certain amount of money. If you have morals and scruples, you won't sleep with the boss to get a job you don't deserve. And then everybody else find out about it. And then the job ain't worth nothing. Then you got to sleep on that knowing you did that. And it wasn't the fact that your skills didn't take you to get there, but something else did. You get what I'm saying? Or if you stole a position or you did something you wasn't supposed to do, and got somewhere you wasn't supposed to get, and you did something unscrupulous to get it, you got to live with that energy. You ain't got away with nothing. That's just having morals and scruples, man. And like I say, ain't nobody perfect. When you realize that you screwing up and you doing stuff, you gotta back up out of that, man, and relinquish all that stuff that you got. How you got that stuff, you turn it loose, because it become a curse. It's not a blessing anymore. And we talk, like I seen this thing with Tyler Perry and Young Jesus. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all seen. They had a little talk show, but they was talking about their success. And I'm sitting up there listening to Young Jeezy talking about it. I say, this the same dude that I said, what? Ain't this the dude that talk about selling dope and killing in 98% of his records? And he trying to tell what? Dog, your gift is a curse to the community. Look how many of these people listen to your music and was influenced in a way where they got locked up or killed behind it. And you sit up here smiling like you're doing something successful. What? What are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? So it's like you people got to start like setting these people down. These people crazy, man. Whatever your gift was, it became a curse because you don't even look at the totality of what you're doing to people out here. They don't even look at that. They don't even have the mindset to even see that what you doing to your community is more harmful than anything. But they don't even have the spirit to see it, but talk about God blessing them. And I keep telling y'all, I told y'all, people who don't believe in traditional God, they call the Satan people, they don't call their God Satan, they call him God. Did y'all know that? People got to understand this stuff. We need new looking at this type of stuff. That's why I be saying a lot of these people out here, you got to reanalyze the way we be thinking. I'm listening to these people, I was like, man, and this other guy over here, bro, what are you talking about? So it's just a bunch. I say, wasn't this other Kirk Franklin dude? Wouldn't he get sued by his singers because he was stealing their money? And you talking about here, thank God and all this. What's going on here? Bro, I turned all that shit. I got like, man, I got highly fried. Like, man, get out of here, man. I'm too real to be listening to these people, man. You talking about all this time. What this guy that's being sued by his singers, saying he's stealing them, might be stealing money from years. They suing him for that. Allegedly. And I'm like, what? Man, please, man. Please. Please. Get out of here. Oh man. Anyway, man, let me get ready to go. We're gonna talk about that on another show, fam. If y'all interested in that, y'all message me and let me know. Hey Q, you need to get on that. But I'm just saying, bro, I'm just sick of all this other stuff. Wasn't in Tyler Perry? Wasn't he praying over TDJ? I seen him praying and TDJ's moving around like this. I was like, what? Bro, I was like, isn't that supposed to be the other way? Whatever. But that whole Young Jeezy thing, I was like, man, this the dude that talk about selling dope 98% of the time. And messing over women and calling them hoes and everything. And this the dude, he gonna stand up here, thank God. Oh, God bless me. Oh, yeah, he did he? Did he bless you? It's amazing, man. Anyway, let me get ready to get on out of here, man. Family, if y'all interested in that, let me know, and I might do some shows like that about that, man. But I seen all like, man, you can't be serious. You can't be serious with these folks, man, and how they act. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Anyway, with that being said, fam, listen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one. I appreciate y'all hollering at me. I will be back tomorrow for the preview stream. Matter of fact, I'll have a stream that'll play maybe early in the morning before the game, fam. I'll go over some stuff about comments that was made by the NFL about the Saints' upcoming season. We'll talk about the 90-man roster. We'll go over a light breakdown before the start of the game. We know at some point the Saints are going to start cutting down this roster. So we talk about a little bit of that. Not like I said, it's a stream that I already recorded. It'll be up for you early tomorrow morning. So it's going to be cool. But yeah. Oh, see, yeah, he said twerk. Yeah, man, see. Fam, if y'all want me to talk more about that and y'all like those type of topics, y'all want me to react on that, let me know, man. And I'll probably set up a stream on Patreon and start doing it. But if y'all feel like y'all want to hear, just let me know in the comment section and I'll go for it. But outside, if y'all don't want to hear, then I won't do it. All right, so anyway, all right. Shout out to you. Mr. MGR says, how many games you predict we'll win? I think, bro, realistically speaking, man, the Saints do what they're supposed to do with the line. Notice I said if, because you can never be too sure on how many games we will win. But if we handle our business correctly and run the football, just not being perfect, but just running the football, protecting the quarterback, and just execute, not being perfect, but handling business and winning games at home. Like when we're at home, like getting a win at home, winning at home in a comfortable environment, that's big. I'm really being agreeable, but I'm thinking we can get about 9 or 10 games if we can handle the business, because I think we have the pieces to win at least 9. We won 5 last year. We was 5-12 last year. I think this is a better team than last year. Inexperienced at the quarterback level, but better leader guided. I think this is a better leaded team with the head coach at the top. So I think that would be cool. Thank you, bro. Debo says, Big Q, some real talk. All needed. But yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you, Debo, man. Appreciate you. Jay Black, shout out to you. Yeah, we can talk about it, man. It's just this stuff. I be seeing it like some people send me the Omar Johnson thing, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, why this guy ain't in jail, man? What this? He's obviously stealing them people money and living off of it. He's obviously the guy that we got Dr. Key and we got 2 doctors in the chat. I'm pretty sure they got offices where you can go. The man don't even have an office. If how you a doctor with no office? I don't even know. I don't even think he's a doctor. I don't think he's a doctor. All the paperwork I've seen, is different names on every degree. That's a red herring. I'm like, so anybody can get online and say they're a doctor now, and people be like, "Would you critique me?" I don't. Anybody can get on TV and say they're a doctor now. Anybody can do it now. And people like, teach me. And I heard some of the stuff he's saying. I'm like, what? Bro, listen, man. Dog. You cannot listen, man. Bro. Crazy, man. Dude. It's like, what? He says some positive things. He says something, but I'm saying that's like a game, man. You pimping history. Like you saying historical things that are true. It's true. Some of these things are historically true, what you saying. But the whole Kobe Bryant thing and all this other stuff that I heard him say, I'm like, man, this dude is. Plus his appearance, he disheveled. I seen a video with him had a thing on his head. His eye was circled like somebody punched him in his eye. I said, dude ain't right, man. All his energy off. It's weird, man. It's weird. I seen somebody ask him about the school he got mad at. I'm like, man, this dude it's a con man operating, man. You don't get mad because somebody questioning you. They want transparency. They're asking you, I sit up here for 2 hours while the family members ask me questions about the Saints. I don't sit up here, what y'all gonna do about the Saints for? What? No, what you talking about, bro? We just, you know what I'm saying? That's like me getting mad. Y'all asking me about the Saints. Well, what the hell y'all keep asking me for a Saints show? Q, this is a Saints show. We talk about the Saints here. It's crazy, man. Yeah, but yeah, the whole thing with American Trail being indicted, 11 counts, I want to say last time I checked. I've never seen that happen. Even when they went after Ray Nagin down here, they waited for him to get out of office before they went after him. They're going after her now. They must have something on her to go after her right now. And I'm like, uh-oh. Remember, I'm from the land where they got freezer money. When the guy came from and said, no, I ain't stealing, they go up in the freezer, he got money wrapped up in the freezer. Who put free money in their freezer unless they crooked? Yeah. I'm from the land where I think not the last insurance commission, but the last 2 or 3 insurance commissioners went to jail for stealing. Insurance commissioners. I don't think it was the last one. I think it was 2 or 3 of them prior to him. They were doing it. It's just insane, man. The prison. The people run up out the jail. The dude, they don't know where he at. They starting to print pictures of him with a wig. They're like, he couldn't be smart enough to just get away as a man. He got to be a woman now. He got to be. We put him a picture. I seen a picture of Groves with a wig on and a mustache. I say, what? You ain't gonna cut the mustache off? He can put a wig on, but he's too stupid to cut his mustache off. Like, okay. And he was, never mind. It's just commonsensical stuff. It's crazy, man. But it's interesting all at the same time. But the guy gone. And the lady, the prison, she running for the. They found paperwork, like papers from an investigation tied to the jail and a waste dump somewhere. The governor launched an investigation on him. And guess what? He not a fan of none of the politicians down here. So if he gonna go for broke. So there's some real spill going on down in the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana. It gets real dirty down here. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, the name of the podcast is Look Beyond the Results. Yeah, that's what they're doing. All right. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. But anyway, listen, I'm going to get on out of here, man. I appreciate y'all for hollering at me, man. Y'all do me a service. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, man, I appreciate y'all for what y'all doing, how y'all do, man. I got a show. We'll be popping up early Sunday morning. We got the 12 o'clock game as well going on. And we'll have the recap after that for Saints Sunday. Saints and the Jaguars. So with that being said, fam, I'm going to get the hell on up out of here. Y'all have a fantastic rest of y'all night and a fantastic rest of y'all weekend. And let's put 2 up for the Saints getting a victory tomorrow against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. I'll let y'all tomorrow. Peace. Yeah, take it.
Yeah. Like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, brother like this and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.